Hello. So, I just watched the reality war, like literally just right now. I'm going to be talking a bit about Witchworld, a bit about the reality war, but before that, I'm going to talk a bit about. I'm going to provide a little summary of my thoughts on episode 4, 5, and 6 because of exams, I just did not have the time or the energy to do those videos. I was planning on doing two, but I really don't have the energy to do that right now. So we're going to be doing one. Basic thoughts on episode 4 was it could have been good. It could have been really good, but the fact that the organization that Conrad is threatening his unit and not something less militaristic and secretive just ruins the whole thing of the episode. Then we have episode 5, which I really like, but I do think that it could have been a little bit longer. I feel like some of the characters aren't fully fleshed out. Some of the character exposition feels a bit awkward. But other than that, really, really good. Episode 6 is a bit of a mess and probably should have been way longer. Probably a two-parter to accommodate for such a heavy and a theme that really needs nuance and care. And 50 minutes to set up that and also introduce the Rani is just not enough. Witchworld is actually a good episode. It's just that none of the things that it points to are brought up in the reality war, and that makes it essentially pointless. I was really excited to watch the reality war. I was really excited last week because I thought that the reality war was going to touch on these subjects of, the way that society kind of forces us into these roles. And I thought that would be something that it was going to comment on, but no. No. Like, it was so good at that, but that doesn't matter if you're not going to actually do something with it. Like, if you're just gonna put it in there and then just leave it, it just doesn't work. My major problem with this finale is that the two episodes feel like they are two separate stories. That's my biggest complaint. And then I'm going to talk about the thing that I liked. And I do say thing because I only really liked one thing, is Anita. Anita got to get back into the show just for a moment. I love Anita. Great. Wonderful moment. Everything else feels like it's not earned. It feels horribly unearned. Poppy, unearned. Belinda and her relationship with the Doctor, unearned. Especially because of episode 6. Okay? The Interstellar Song Contest absolutely ruins this finale because of how Belinda is characterized. It means that she's also badly characterized in this episode, and she just isn't herself. Even though she acts like herself, it doesn't matter because she hasn't spent enough time with the Doctor to go from insisting that she goes home and not trusting him to having this kind of relationship with him, which is much more similar to the relationship that he has with other companions like Ruby and Mel and like literally every other companion he's ever had, right? Yeah, it just doesn't sit well with me. But yes, up until we get to Unit, everything's fine. But after that, I don't really like anything. And the things that I kind of feel okay about are things that are just wasted potential. Like the Rani's and Mrs. Flood's dynamic with Conrad would have been nice to see some sort of conclusion to that. I don't like, but I do think that Ruby's conversation with Conrad in the episode has some potential, but it just doesn't feel earned because Ruby hasn't been around. And yeah, like the moment with all of the unit employees, Mel and Shirley, and all these people coming back to unit, again, doesn't feel earned. And also, why is Rose here? I'm sorry, Rose is a child. Why is she working for unit? I don't like it. I don't like any of these things. I like Rose's character. I like Shirley as a character. I like Mel. But everything in this episode feels so unearned. And when everyone's there at unit, all of the exposition that we have with Ronnie and Mel, it just feels so awkward. I don't know if that was because they were on a rush schedule and they just didn't have the time to put themselves into the roles properly or whatever, or if it's just the writing. But like, it feels so awkward. It stunts the pacing of the episode. And this episode is long already. And then, so we have Poppy. Nice concept, not enough time to care. Okay, it's just having this happen to the Doctor and Belinda is the worst thing that Russell T Davies could have done, okay? Because the Doctor and Belinda are established as a friends-only relationship, and suddenly they're all lovey-dovey. Like, it made sense in Wish World, because that was part of the wish. But if Poppy's real, right, that's fine. But why change the Doctor's and Belinda's relationship around that? That's just weird. Don't do that. I like the Doctor and Belinda's relationship the way it is. I also don't like that the Doctor uses the Vindicator to get rid of Omega. I don't like that the Doctor suddenly falls into curiosity about Omega. Like, that he doesn't need more convincing. Like, if you're going to have him do that, like, have the Ronnie tempt him by saying more than 2 sentences. I don't like how Omega is defeated. I don't like that Omega is in it at all. It feels like Omega is just there to kill the Ronnie for no reason. Just so that Russell can say, oh, she's never going to come back. It feels pointless, is what I'm saying. And then, right, we have the Wish Baby. I can't remember its name right now. And that's all great. That's a great resolution for the Wish Baby. But like, yeah. And then we have the scene where Poppy disappears, which is, I think, one of the few things that actually works in this episode. The way it's directed, the way that, you know, we're slowly coming to the realization that Poppy has disappeared. That's great. Again, we haven't had enough time to care. The only reason I care about this child, about this character, is because Ruby is sad. And it's distressing because Poppy's a child. That's the only reason it's upsetting. I don't feel like the Doctor and Belinda have any actual attachment to this child outside of the wish. But yeah, Ruby remembering the wish and not everyone else is fine. But I don't like the conversation that they have with the Doctor to convince him to go and get Poppy, save Poppy. I don't like it. I don't like the, in a sense, we're all your children. Like, that's so stupid. You can protect and save people and care about them, even if they're not your children. That is a ridiculous idea. I don't know what Russell was thinking when he wrote this episode. It's like, it's an okay episode. There's just so much about it that just doesn't click. It's an okay idea. It's a great idea, Evan, but it just doesn't work. And maybe I just feel like this could be something that was just slung out in a matter of weeks because Ncuti decided that he wanted to regenerate, wanted to leave the show on like a last minute schedule or something. Because it just feels like we're giving him an excuse to regenerate. I almost like the moment with Jodie. But like, again, it doesn't feel earned. Because we've only had 17 episodes? 18 episodes. 18 episodes with Ncuti as the Doctor. And he just hasn't had the time to acquire the, like, space and just amount of story that this kind of roundabout, everyone gets a spotlight kind of regeneration episode. And that's a pity. I like Ncuti, I like his Doctor, I just feel like it's not earned. And that's very sad. And it's just not a good regeneration episode. And I don't like that the end, everything about Belinda's story is changed for no reason. Like, what was the reason for that? Like, Belinda was really exciting back in episode 1. It's just fun character, kind of like Donna, who doesn't take the Doctor's bullshit. And then now she's just like any other companion, right? She loses the thing that made her stand out just so for nothing. And I just don't feel anything about it, really. I just feel like there could have been a better ending for Belinda, and I don't like it. Okay, now we got a talk about the big thing. I don't mind Ncuti regenerating. I just feel like he could have had more episodes and that would have been better. But also, Billie Piper? What the hell are you thinking, mate? I'm sorry. In what universe is this a good ending? In what universe is this even interesting storytelling-wise? In what universe are you going to recover from this? I don't see how Russell T Davies could make this interesting in any way. I was okay with David Tennant being the Doctor again for the specials, because I'm biased here. Donna and Ten are my second favourite TARDIS team, so I'm biased, but at least I could see the potential for doing something interesting with it, especially when we knew that Donna was coming back. But this, I'm supposed to wait for at least another 1.5 years for this, unless like there's a special that comes out like next year where like this is explained and done away with and we have a new 17th Doctor. I understand that there is a possibility that they had to find a 16th Doctor very quickly. I understand that there might have been a possibility for that, but Billie Piper? I like Billie Piper, okay? But there is one reason why she shouldn't be the Doctor. That reason is that she was a companion, okay? It is fine to have doctors or companions who have been side characters before, especially when you tie it into the themes. But Billie Piper? No. Just no. Just no. Absolutely not. That is my entire opinion. That will continue to be my opinion. And this will be my most hated creative choice that New Who has ever made. And I really hope that Russell isn't looking to one-up himself. My biggest problem with this series, now that it's over, is that none of the episodes after episode 3 feel like they fit in the same series. And that's not a good thing. Bring back 13 episodes series, please.